Welcome. Thank you, Guyanese, for being here with me. Simplifying government and recognizing betrayal. I think what I'm saying is, don't leave. Don't leave. You got a lot of stuff to discuss right here. What I'm saying is, government is very simple. Let's look at our villages, for example. Today, we have many issues that are unresolved. And I just want to mention this. The reason why we are moving away from the current administration is because they have not listened to us. Wives, Guyanese wives, how do you feel when your husband refuses time and time again to listen to you? But you can't leave the relationship. We can't leave Guyana because we're invested. We are invested in that country. We've built a set of things around us. Physical things, of course. But what happens is, somewhere in our hearts, we're feeling betrayed. We're losing ourselves. We're losing a situation where we know they don't care. So we have to struggle twice as hard. Before I said simplifying government here, I was trying to recognize where people, their feelings are not recognized. I'm going to look into our villages so that we can see, so that you can see what you are feeling and why. There are many people in your community who, let's look at the elderly, for example. You're looking in your village, you know about a situation where somebody is struggling. A woman with 7 children, husband died, no care. Your conscience is telling you that, something should have been done. But the people that you give power to cannot recognize that. Because in their minds, all they're seeing is, if they can manipulate the entire situation in a given way, they would still be having the authority to control you. Not because they want to control you, but if they can control you, control the narratives, control the stories that are being told and the way they are being told, then they can continue stealing from you and you wouldn't know the difference. It's a simple story. It's your abusive husband lying to you, cheating at you, abusing the children, mismanaging the money, doing whatever he does, live carelessly, comes home 2 o'clock in the morning every day, and you're there, And that is who we have become as citizens of our country. There's not much we can do. The day we give our votes, the day the woman loses her virginity, the day she says, I do. You know, I see our entire nation. Women are very vulnerable in that way. For whatever reason, they fall in love. But they say at some point in time, I am going to go into this and I want this. And this is an analysis about how we are feeling as a nation, as people of Guyana, when we feel that our voices are not recognized and they are not being heard. I am getting here to something called conscience. Something that all of us have, and we're not really sure if we can never be comfortable in our environments, in our societies, in our social structure, if conscience is bothered. And I'm speaking this as a very, very, very deep truth. Because what I'm saying, it is what happens to you as a people perpetually. The only thing we can never do, and I remember the Bible saying that, there are people that have their consciences seared with hot iron. It's like you burnt it. You kill it. You kill it. You kill one person, you kill two person, you kill three person. After that, killing people becomes fun. That is what it is. The abuse you have perpetuated using your physical body, your human mind, perpetuated on other human beings, so much so that it doesn't bother you anymore. I'm asking you, Guyanese, haven't you become a demon at that place, at that point in time? Your conscience doesn't have a place to say hello. That is not so right anymore. Your conscience has lost that place. I'm still talking about Guyana. I'm still talking about Guyanese. And I'm still talking about the way we are being governed. Let's look in the villages again. How many of us have our neighbors probably have a toilet that is smelling, and you know that there's nothing you can do about it? There's a neighbor that is raising chickens. Chickens are smelling, but they are wealthy, and I'm poor. There's nothing you can do about it. There's a neighbor that has a dirty environment, and they're living in that squalor and filth, and they're your neighbor. There's nothing you can do about them being your neighbor. You can't move them. But there are laws that protects you. There are laws that helps the whole, every person that lives in every community. There are rules and regulations that have been created, or are being created, or can be created by these communities to ensure that everybody lives in a place that their souls, their hearts, their minds, and their feelings are comfortable. So why is it that we have many issues that we know? We walk around our village. We see the squalor here and there. We see the drains. We see the hogs going into the drains. I remember when I was overseer, and I'm not going too far off here, we used to manage drains and digging drains and stuff like that, and building streets and roads. And one issue we have is that there are neighbors that have hogs that go into the drains, make a mess of the drains, and people would complain. And we wrote a letter to the Ministry of Local Government. And I'm telling you how far south we have come. South meaning that we have come to a place that is more negative than positive. How far south we have come. So I wrote the letter, and of course the chairman signs the letter. I was the executive, he was the politician. And that's how it is. The executive does the hard work, the politicians take the credit. I'm going to get there again shortly. How government is simple. I'm going back now to, and that happens when you try to do too many things at the same time. I just lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. Let me get back to where our people that manages our affairs have lost us. They've lost us because our feelings cannot be the way we feel. We cannot speak. So we have these feelings. We in our neighborhoods we have a lot of problems, and by now we all of us have become blinded and dumb to our problems that we have in our communities. Many issues in our communities. But we cannot speak because we know we're not going to be heard. And again, I'm going back to this abusive wife and this abused wife and this abusive husband. I don't know how to say it any differently. Because, you see, government is a very big thing. And I have to draw this analogy. They don't listen to us. They don't listen. There's not a structure in government. You go to the local authorities, and for you people who know more, you go to your local authorities and you know that they have the dumbest people there, the PPP especially today. They have the dumbest people as your bosses. And they have those dumb people. Whilst they're better people that can be the bosses in their local communities, PPP would have the dumbest people and PNC did the same thing. Because the dumbest people says, yes sir, thank you very much, please give me some more. And of course they get some more. And that's the structure that we live in. I am saying, Guyanese, that your souls, your consciences, your hearts are not comfortable with the way things are. You probably saw a street being built and then the drains being filled, and you're thinking, well, how are we going to fix that? Because the street is a ton of concrete. I remember in 52-74, I took tons of reef sand and I built streets. Because we were poor then. We didn't have money like you have in Guyana today. We were very poor. We went into the reefs and we took the reserve sand that we have and we filled it on the streets. Because before those sands were filled, and people were extremely comfortable and very appreciative. Because what they know is that we are poor. We don't have a lot of money, but the money that we have, we're doing the best we can. And the souls of people were satisfied in those days. And for the practicality of it now, we put about 6 inches of reef sand in those streets. And what we see happening today is that there's not a whole lot of proactivity. And that happens when the decisions come down from your government on top. And why they come down from your government on top is because they want you to see them as paramount, supreme, the supreme leaders that we have. So the decisions come from top. They're digging out all the sand in the street. It might sound like a simplistic thing to you, but there was a lot of energy and resources that went into putting that sand in the street there. They dig it out, and they put white sand, which is okay. But I think that reef sand is far more structurally sound than white sand. And I want you engineers to comment and tell me how stupid I am for saying that. Because I know, and I know you know that I know. But that happens when the authorities don't listen to the people on the ground, the authorities on the ground, and the people don't know. And that happens when there's your leaders who want supreme authority, so they have puppets in your villages, in your neighborhood councils, in your administrative places. They have puppets because puppets do what the boss tells them to do. And we learn from a video by the sheriff guy, that there's one boss in Guyana. Guyanese, you have a dictatorship in your hands. It's hard for you to see. It's hard for Indians to see, because whilst your conscience, your hearts, and your feelings are telling you one thing, your fears, your doubts, and your experiences are telling you another thing. I am going to ask you here, my brothers and sisters who live under horrible conditions but don't know it, can't see it, can't recognize it, can't see that there's a lack of empathy. But I know they're intelligent people. I know there are people that are schooled. And even those people that are not schooled, every one of you have the ability to listen to your hearts, your consciences, and your souls, because that is the God within you. And you right now, you know what I'm saying is the truth. We're not supposed to be living the way we do. I heard your president, Bharat Jagdeo, saying, yes, that is your president, Bharat Jagdeo. He said we are going to have a situation where we're going to remove all the impediments on the roadsides. You know how many lives have been lost by impediments on the roadsides? But you know why the impediments on the roadsides will not be removed, cannot be removed, and have not been removed? Because the impediments on the roadsides are owned by people of wealth. Let that sink in a little bit. But then they ask you, people of stupidity, to vote for them. I want you to recognize and realize how marginal a game you play. The people of wealth will be driving out. The people that don't have wealth walk out on the roads, have to traverse, go around the obstacles on the road that are permanently there. The people of wealth feel comfortable knowing that they have connections with the regional officials, the local officials. They have money. The police wouldn't touch them because your economy, your souls have been taken over by value. You know what kind of value? Monetary value. Something that we have made, have come to destroy the life that is within us. And we can't see the difference, because there's a great difference between, you see, and now I understand why they say money is the root of all evil. It is. When an accident happens and that impediment on the road caused that accident, when you're walking and you know that this is your portion of the road, when you're supposed to pull down with your vehicle safely, but you can't. When the local authorities or whoever dig the roadsides, they put the earth on the road, and when, like I experienced recently, the rain falls, and then there's a puddle on the road, and then you have to look back to see the traffic that is coming, and you know that if you're not careful enough, and if the guys that are driving are a little bit more stupid, then you could be walking on the road and being in a very unsafe position. And all this is because the respect is for the people that have and not the people that don't have. But it has become such a norm that it fails us, it hurts us, it bothers us, but we don't know that something should be done about it, something could be done about it, something should have been done about it. And there, I remember, there I can see that the people that manage your affairs don't understand. They don't have the capacity to understand. They don't have the desire to understand, because what matters to them is what they get out of the relationship, where they provide services to you to manage your money and your resources. Guyanese, we're in a bad place. Very bad place. We are being taken for a ride. And we can't see it. We're blinded. We're blinded because somebody is manipulating us by our fears, our desires, and our physical limitations. Our souls suffer. We don't even understand what is happening to us. So much for the bad news. How about a place? How about a situation? All these small people, these little people, how about a situation where your thoughts, your feelings have a place in the minds of the people that you have empowered to manage your affairs? How about if you go to the local authority and you say, you know what? My neighbor's drain is stink and smelly, and it is broken, and it is creating a situation where my yard is being affected. And when you go there, you know that there are laws in place, there are situations in place, there are people in place that would listen to you, understand your problems, come and fix it. Put whatever regulations in place and make things happen so that you do not have to live in a situation where your mind is stressed, where you're afraid. You know why we voted for people and put them in power and give them authority over our lives? Well, there was a time and there was a place where we did that because we were led to believe, and it was kind of practical in those days, that the people that have the color of our skin would do right by us. My country, our country, that is a lie. It has not happened. They have stolen from us. They have mismanaged us. They have marginalized us. They have suffered our consciences, our souls. They have made us so corrupt and confused. They have. We don't even know the difference. But I'm asking the conscience and the God in you to awaken and to listen to your souls, your own souls, and feel the pain and the weaknesses that your brothers and sisters in your neighborhoods are feeling. They've been hurting so much that they don't even know if they want someone to help them. They don't know. But you know what? Your prayers have been heard. And the time is coming. The time is very close where you are going to recognize that the God on your side has been providing, is providing, and will provide alternatives where you don't have to vote for two races, you don't have to vote for hypocrisy, you don't have to vote for perpetual lies and deceit and deviousness. You can vote for something else, something that takes faith, something that takes willpower, something that takes strength from within you. And you will vote for something that works. Because your God have heard your cries. He understands. He understands that you have been afraid for so long. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your frailness. And let me tell you something, Guyanese. They said religion and politics should never merge. But they feed you religion, they give you a place in heaven, and they take everything that you have on earth. Let me go back a little bit. Tell me about the war. Tell me about the Bhagavad Gita. Hindus, Guyanese Kuli people, tell me about that war. Wasn't that war, isn't that book a religious book? Isn't that book one of the greatest books that our Hindu traditions recognize and adore? Wasn't Krishna the epitome of that narrative? Wasn't that a fight of good over evil? Wasn't that a fight where the people that Arjuna struggled in his mind, saying to Krishna, how can I kill my brothers, my cousins, my relatives? How can I do that? Arjuna was a man of great conscience, great faith, and great strength also. People with great strength have great faith and great consciences and are soulful, they're empathetic, and they love people. The evil ones, they swindle, they lie, they create narratives, they create stories, they manipulate. Yes, that story there is a story of politics, where evil was perpetuating itself. I'm talking about the Bhagavad Gita, where evil was perpetuating itself for an extended period of time. And God stepped in. And we have the narrative known as the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna and Krishna and the people that sat on the side of good were able to conquer the evil that was. The evil that was looks like you. The demon doesn't live in space. Neither does God live in heaven. He lives within your very souls and in your very hearts. And I'm asking you to find him. And he's asking you to do the right things. Yes, religion and politics are one and the same thing. Religion came out of politics. Religion was living in a certain way for nations, for a people. And the narratives, the stories that came out of religion are the stories of how good triumph over evil every time. There's no difference between politics and religion. There has never been. That narrative came up when they sought to control you using religion, telling you that your place is in heaven while they steal your earth. That is your devil right there. He's really a sweet guy. He's smart. Super smart. I'm just your messenger. Let's look at our Bible. The Holy Bible. Many of us of Indian color or Indian culture or Indian descent read the Bible too. I did. When I was 12 years old, I had already read the Bible like 2 times over. That's how smart I was. I'm not so smart anymore. I'm just honest. I'm just fearless. I'm just truthful. And I love people. And I heard one other guy saying, I love people. And that was your Azruddin Muhammad. God bless him. All the stories in the Bible. Let's look at them. Samson. The story of Samson. It was a situation where the Philistines were abusing the Jewish nation. They were perpetuating themselves and whatever they did on the Jewish nation. God created Samson. What is different about religion and politics? But somebody, somewhere in your consciousness, managed to separate it. They gave you a place in heaven and took your place on earth. And life goes on. The world is a sad place. They have given you hell on earth. You know what is our hell? Our hell is when we live in an environment, in a place, in our hearts, that we are so uncomfortable, that we see evil perpetuating itself all around us, and we don't know what to do about it. We don't understand the difference. Saul, David, the Bible, your holy Bible. The people wanted Saul. And this is in one nation, like in Guyana today. The people wanted Saul. The Jewish nation then wanted Saul. Saul was aggressive. He probably was arrogant. He was strong. He knew how to fight with a sword. He had everything that the physical eyes could see. He was the people's king. People loved him. But the God that lives within all of you, he knew different. He knew different. He knew that that man would have been betraying them. Because the heart that he has is evil. But the people didn't know that. But God loves us. So he provided a David years in advance. The same, a few years after Saul, he provided a David. And you know where he put the David? He put him in the fields. He put him in a place where he can develop his human power. Recognize that he is not human anymore, but he is God in human flesh. God created him. God, there are many people that read that Bible, and there are many people, and pastors, that's a story for you too. Teach the flock. Tell them the truth. God created a David. And when it was time, the evil had the greatest thing to fight with, the Goliath. And the Philistines came, and you know how they came? They came knowing that there's nothing you stupid little Jews can do. Because we have physical power. We have the money. We have the might. We have the strength. We have the authority. We are fearless. And then David came. And when he came, he was the only person, the one person. And I'm thinking that David and Goliath is replaying itself in your lives, Guyanese, Christians. One little man, a very young man at that. He wasn't gray like me. He was a young man. God chooses young men. Men that have what it takes to do the right thing. He puts the good inside of them too. The conscience. The empathy. The qualifications that allow us to be rulers. The good things. David. He came to the camp to bring food for his brothers who were standing there shivering. And Saul also shivering in front of this mighty Goliath. This giant, great giant. Can you believe that? The people of God were very fearful. The people of God, but you know what? I have to tell you this. They were fearful because they lost their conscience. They lost their ability over time. They went after things that were not valuable. Well, actually, they went after things that were valuable. Things that they could see. Things that made the difference to them. And they forgot their God. But God is merciful. And the God, no matter how far you go, you belong to Him. He'd always come back and help you. He will. Always. David, his brothers snickered at him. You little thing, you have never even fought in a war. But you know what David had? He had the indignation to say, how can you, Barjagdeo, abuse my people? How can you look out for yourself so much so that you cannot even see the struggles of the ordinary people in the villages, in their communities? David had indignation in his heart. And he could see through these monsters and the monstrosities that they built to protect themselves. And he knew in his heart that those guys were little things, because the God that he serves never afraid of anything. You cannot be afraid. David was not afraid, because he could feel love. He could feel empathy. He could feel justice. He could know when injustice is happening. How can you, stupid Philistine, regardless of your size, come and abuse my people? God prepared him. And Christians, you know the story. Good always triumphs over evil. And you know what they did? They say, Mr. David, I don't think you can do this job, but you never fought before. You're not a warrior. You're not even trained with a sword. All you probably know is that sling there that you go and you hit people with. That is stupid. We don't even use that in the war. It don't work. You little stupid guy. And David, with resilience, stood up there and smiled. And he said, I have fought before. When the lions came, I fought and killed them. And I took their meat and I just threw it away, their carcasses. And the bears came too. They came to eat my sheep. I protected my sheep because my God protects me and my sheep. David was able to say that. He believed in something greater. He was never afraid. And they put on the armor of Saul. They quoted, they had metal, a lot of metal. So if you're going to fight Goliath, at least get metal to protect yourself. You know what David said? My armor is right here. It's within me. Everything that I have is within me. Guyanese, it sounds like preaching, but whatever I'm saying, it comes from the depths of my soul. And whatever I'm saying is resonating in your souls. That's how it's meant to be. And thank you very much for all the people that are watching and the people that will watch. And we know how that story went, the David story. David took up his sling, he took off the armor, he took off everything that was materialistic. You know what he took off? He took off this guy that says, I am a great speaker. You come here and do a press conference and let's see what you got. But you know what? Your David didn't need a press conference. He needed a conference with each one of you individually. He needs to resonate with your feelings and your thoughts, and he needs to feel how you felt. The story happens the same way every time. The historians would know that. Every time the story happens the same way. God takes the little people. I remember Moses, but I'm not going to get there. Let me finish the David story. And David went down into that brook. He took up 5 smooth stones. He was crossing a little stream, because Goliath was on the other side of this river, on a hill. And then he looked at this little guy coming down and he said, hang on, I am a dog? Did you come to me with a stick and stones? What's the matter with you? I'm going to feed your carcass to the vultures. Evil is arrogant. Evil is loud. You hear how loud your PPP campaign is and your PNC campaign was in the days of Burnham? Evil is loud. Very loud. Arrogant and aggressive. And David said, "Who are you to challenge my God and my people?" And when he said it, it didn't come out from his lips or his intelligence. It came out from the depths of his soul. And he went ahead and did the right thing. He slaughtered the giant with one stone, one sling. Guyanese, that story is politics. That story happened more than 3,000 years ago. The same evil that perpetuated itself then is perpetuating itself now. The same evil that caused your soul to not feel, to become calloused, to not care for your neighbors, to not walk around with beauty and strength and love and peace. The same evil that is greedy and wants to take and wants to get and wants to perpetuate itself as big. That same evil is here today, and it's doing the same things. I'm telling to you, the time has come. I'm not telling you. I'm not even asking you. I'm allowing you to know that the time has come. The time has come for faith. The time has come to recognize. Somebody called me pastor politician. Whatever that means. I say what I know. I say what I believe. My words don't come out of my mouth. They come out from the depths of my soul. My intention is that it resonates with the depths of your souls. To all my brothers and sisters in Guyana, you are loved, you're cherished, you're adored, and God is preparing a way for you. And you should have faith to do the right things. And to one day that your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren can look at you this day and respect you. Because they will be smarter than us. They will be wiser than us. They will be better than us. They will know God more than us. Because the day and age is coming when things are going to be better. When the human mind will stop being greedy and selfish. When the human being wouldn't have to fight. There are many things I can tell you about how your government has perpetuated evil. And because a few people are still here, I'm going to continue a little bit. You see, in order for the weak minds, the poor mentalities, to perpetuate themselves in power because they want Because you see, the place of power is not a place where you are blessed. It's a place where power is a terrible thing. The devil has always been looking for it. He has always been looking for power. And he finds it. But the devil rules by fear. Not by faith. Not by love. Not by helping other people. Not by being caring for people. Not by listening to their souls, in their anguishes, in their desires, in their dreams. By insulating themselves with other evil people. That is how they perpetuate themselves in power. And you? They have, let's look at these examples. Let's look at examples of how limited we are. Before I go there, I want to tell you, both black and Indians, because we are the greatest evil in this country. The black race and the Indian race are the greatest evil on that country. We have perpetuated evil in that country and has affected every other race and ourselves at the same time. Because our minds were so shallow that we listened when Barnum said, we're the same kind of people. Who are you going to vote for? Those guys? Those guys are not like you. And Bharat is saying the same thing today. Those guys, the PNC, Guyanese, we don't have PNC and PPP. We don't need them. We don't want them. Because they have manipulated us into believing that we are Indians and black. I am telling you today, you are a creation of God. You are like the birds in the air. There are blue ones, green ones, black ones, pink ones, yellow ones. That's all you are. We all have that capacity to be like God, to be evil and to be good. That's all there is. Embrace each other with love. Not for greed, not for gain, for love deep down in your souls. The PNC and the PPP cannot create situations that are going to cause that embrace. They never can, they never will, they never did. And it's not PPP, It's just this Bharat guy that went in there and corrupted everything. And you guys are angry with me when I mention the guy's name. But I was there when Shetty died. I was there when hope filled us still. That we had a great young man that is going to do all the right things. But that young man, he was a great manipulator. He got rid of one of the greatest finance ministers that Guyana had. He strategically did that. He got rid of some of the best men in PPP. He got rid of the Moses Nangamutu, the Kemraj Ramjatan, the Ralph Ramkaran. All the good people he got rid of. By strategy. He created a strategy in the party where all the weaker minds, the people that are not so smart, but wanted things, and were greedy, he helped them. Guyanese, my mind tells me I shouldn't go in that direction today. It is too much for one day. I'm going to leave you here. I have many stories to tell. I would love to tell a story every day. God bless us as a nation. God bless the Davids, that he's preparing. And God bless Guyana. Thank you very much, and you have a beautiful rest of the day.